Everybody ready? Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Holy Board of Aldermen to order. Certainly, I appreciate you coming out on this cold and windy evening, even though it is the first day of spring. As we always say, good government depends on the citizens being involved, and we certainly thank you for attending tonight. At this time, I'd like to call on Alderman Tommy Bledsoe for our invocation.
Thank you. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this great city that we have, and bless us and keep us in good hands with you. And as long as we do things the proper way with your guidance, that we can't make any mistakes. So, in your name we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Would you please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance to Alderman John Jones?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, please, Mr. Robinson.
Alderman White.
Here.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Here.
Alderman Geis.
Here.
Alderman Smith.
Here.
Alderman Jones.
Here.
Alderman Johnson.
All right, number one on the agenda is the vote on the municipal docket. Do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Smith.
I move that we approve the municipal docket as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Smith, a second by Alderman Jones. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Alderman Smith. Alderman Geis. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman White.
Motion carries 6 in favor, 1 absent. Number 2 on the agenda is the consent agenda. Sir, Alderman White.
I move that we accept the consent agenda, items A through H.
Is there a second to the motion? Got a motion by Alderman White, a second by Alderman Bledsoe. Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Alderman Smith.
I'd like to take a moment right now on item H to recognize Chief Mike Casey, who has served with us for 27 years and is retiring. And I tell you how much we appreciate him.
Since you brought that up, Alderman, I want to make one quick announcement. Friday, 4 o'clock, we do a retirement on Station 3, and we invite everybody. Anybody would like to come, Station 3 from 4 to 6. We're going to do it from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. People can come back, people can get off work. It is Friday afternoon, but just a quick little thing out of Station 3. So, while you got it on there, I'm going to go ahead and plug on it, and I'll try to mention it again. Thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. And it goes without saying, everybody up here, everybody out there, appreciates all you've done for the city, and wish you well, sir. Wish you well. Thank you, sir. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman White.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Geis. Alderman Smith. Alderman Jones. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Motion carries 6 in favor, 1 absent. Number 3 is the claims docket. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman White.
I move that we accept the claims docket if funds are available and budgeted. General fund, 2,214,418-11. The library fund, 64909. Economic development fund, 644 even. And the utility fund, 66977.
640, 444 is about 44,
6444.
Yeah.
We have a second? Second by Alderman Geis. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman White. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Geis. Alderman Smith. Alderman Jones. Alderman Johnson. Alderman Roberts.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Welcome, sir. Good to see you, Alderman Roberts. All right. Number 4, special district presentations. Letter A is a proclamation about Safe Digging Month. When you go to do some additions to your house, you need to let 811 know. Whereas each year, Mississippi underground utility infrastructure is jeopardized by unintentional damage by those who fail to call to have underground lines located prior to digging. Undesired consequences such as service interruption, damage to the environment, personal injury, and even death are the potential results. Whereas Mississippi 811 Incorporated promotes the national call before you dig number 811 in an effort to reduce these damages. Designated by the FCC in 2015, 811 provides potential excavators and homeowners a simple number to reach their local one-call center to request utility line locations at the intended dig site. And whereas through education of safe digging practices, excavators and homeowners can save time and money, keeping our nation safe and connected by making a simple 811 call in advance of any digging project, waiting the required amount of time, respecting the marked lines by maintaining visual definition throughout the course of the excavation, and finally, digging with care around the marks. And whereas all parties agree that safe digging is a shared responsibility. To know what's below, call before you dig. Therefore, be it resolved that on March the 20th, 2018, I, Alan Latimer, Mayor of the City of Horn Lake, do proclaim April 2018 as Safe Digging Month. Always take those precautions, please. All right. Special guest presentations. Letter E is Ms. Bolwell. And the residents petitioning for street repairs at Holly Grove and Holly Reed subdivision. Come on up, sir. How are you this evening, sir?
Fine, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Mayor Latimer, members of the board, guests, and residents of the Holly Grove, Holly Ridge subdivision. My name is Shayla G. Goldware. I am president of the Holly Grove Homeowners Association. We are partnering with the Holly Ridge Homeowners Association because we have a common problem. That problem is our street, Holly Ridge Drive. The street has been patched, and patched. Has more patches than Carter has Liverpool. We are not asking for repairs, we are asking for replacement. The street is causing damage to the residents along the street, and especially when it rains. Vehicles have to go away from the potholes and go over on the grass. In addition to that, we have one of the homeowners who wished to sell his home, had a deal that was imminent, but the people looked at the street and decided that was not for them. I have a chunk of the asphalt that has come out of the streets over there. There are potholes and mud coming out. The reason this street is torn up the way that it is because there was construction for the completion of Holly Ridge, and for the completion of Willow Point. All those have been taken care of now, and we are asking the city if they will please give us some relief. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And you do such an excellent job presenting the concerns of your citizens as you have in everything you've done in the city. We certainly appreciate all you've done. But to address your immediate problem, you keep up with the city, I know, and you know how tight our budget is right now. Mr. Shields, do you have anything to add?
No, you know, I can feel for him, because what he's not spoken any untruth up there, I can tell you that. All that I can say is I'll continue to send crews through there, and all I can continue to do is add a patch to a patch for a while. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be sometime in 2019 before we can even entertain going through there and surface grinding that street up. That's what needs to happen. Take a mill grinder, go through there and grind up what's there and put new down. In order to do that, we need about $150,000. So that's $150,000 we don't have right now. I'm sorry. So you know, we will try to do as much as we can, but with as much rain as we have, and like you're saying, I'm running 3 or 4 pickups every day, every direction, night and morning, doing them and putting asphalt out, knowing it ain't gonna stay. You know, but at least I'm trying to prevent as many damaged vehicles as I can.
All right, may I ask you one more question?
Yes, sir.
Member of the group whose tires, that one tire has been damaged on an automobile. Does the city, I ask the question, does the city have a contingency fund that would address this problem and other problems that other citizens might have?
This is a question for our insurance lady.
Well, she's going to point back over to me, and I'll answer it for her. I'll answer it for her. Our insurance carrier, they go by the state statute that requires that if we know about the pothole and don't address it within 5 days, then yes, on the 6th day we'll be paid for a tire to be replaced. But if we don't know about it and you get it, then we're not held liable for it, and the insurance company will not accept the claim.
Weather plays an important factor in that as well.
So as of now, you're just learning. What you're saying legally is you're just now learning, and you have 5 days to fix it, and if you don't fix it, we can present a claim.
That's right, that particular pothole, yes, sir, that's correct.
And you'll get calls every day.
And that's fine. No, hey, sir, I get them every day. Don't think we don't. You know, our utility manager, he's right there. He sends me no less than probably 50 little notepad notes every day. Pothole at such address, pothole such, and I address each one of them every morning in our meeting. So we more than happy to. So yes, sir, you just ask them to call me.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any comments or questions? She's not on the agenda. Does the board want to hear from her?
Yes, this is part of his group there.
All right. Come on up here, please, young lady. State your name, please, and address for the record.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Tiffany Bass, and I stay at 7763 Holly Ridge Drive. I know 4 to 5 times there was a horrendous hole in front of my house. And they came and they did a little something to it, but like the next 2 days it was gone. And in front of Mr. Martin's house, they didn't do anything. And that's where the real big problem is. And I called and I get a little nice lady at 8. I'm gonna pass it over, they're not in yet. So I'm just trying to see, because that is a concern, and I know it's a concern around the world. However, when Willow Point came, they did get a new pay. And we've been there, I've been there since 2004. We have not gotten anything new, just patches. So I understand the budget, as well as, you know, whatever else. And 2019 is a long time. We're gonna be buying tires every 2-3 months. And like he said, when you ride in the neighborhood, if you're trying to avoid it and you're in somebody else's grass messing it up, I mean, people pay for lawn care. So it's just not us coming in here to, I'm sure he's aware because he's seen it. But we just need some type of something better asphalt, I guess, if possible.
Well, the thing about with the weather is, as they explained to me, you need a dry day before, a dry day when they put it down, and a dry day afterwards, else it just comes up quicker. It's eventually gonna come up anyway. You know that as well as we do a patch job, but the weather just makes it not hold as long. And you heard Mr. Shields say that he's well aware of it. It's gonna take about $150,000. We don't have it in this year's budget. When we go to work on next year's budget, I can tell you that it will certainly be one of the top considerations when working on the budget. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr.
Shields.
Yes, sir. Just so they all understand about Wolf Point, because they bring back what is a valid point to them, I understand. But the city did not pave those streets over there. The bank that owned all of those lots where they built all their new homes, the bank is the one that paved those streets. They spent $250,000 and paved all those streets and fixed those drain gutters. The city didn't have a dime in there. The bank did all that street. I just didn't want y'all thinking the city went over and spent that money and fixed their street and didn't spend any money on yours. The city did not pay for that to be done. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My name's Darrell Anderson, and I live at 7900 Holly Ridge. I noticed that west of Horn Lake on Dale Road, that street over there was paved. And we've been there, and I knew it's over 41 houses in that subdivision, and we all pay over $1,000.
Yes, and you're not going to like this answer either, but that was mostly done with 80% MDOT money. That's a state aid road, and the state paid most of that project over there. So that's there again, the city, did not fund that one either.
Yeah, I understand the budget,
Yeah, that's what I said, the state funded that project.
But we are asking that if you ought to look at ours and be considerate of us.
Like the mayor said, that's just as, that's the bad thing about the private streets and the subdivisions, and I wish I could tell you yours was on one. But believe it or not, I've got some neighborhoods that's a whole lot worse than yours. I had to just go over and put gravel and road grade one subdivision, so.
Well, I'm still going to do something else soon, because like I said, we are tearing up some stuff over.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody on the board have any questions? Alderman Lyon.
Mr. Palmer. Appreciate it. I know you contacted myself concerning the roads and stuff, and I know that, Mayor, he wanted, another thing that Mr. Boulware would like to know is how soon and the possibility would it be to get a road bond so we can start prior to 2019 fixing the streets.
When you say, are you addressing that to me?
He asked me about it. That's your day, you run the day-to-day, but we all...
I asked you, were you addressing me? All right, yes, sir. A road bond, I assume what you're talking about for the city to go out and borrow money and fix it. Is that correct?
Well, it's important to us that it gets fixed, how it gets fixed, and what the city's means of doing that is political. We're just citizens.
No, there's no, just is not the proper adjective for our citizens. You're citizens. We appreciate it very much. I'm going to be honest with you, the city is not in a position to borrow any money right now. We're making a big attempt to pay off 2 big bonds from about 17 or 18 years ago. And we're lacking until 2020 to 2021. Thank goodness revenues are picking up. That's why Mr. Shields was talking about that we will work as hard as we can to get that $150,000 in next year's budget. But as far as borrowing any money, that would be up to the Board of Aldermen. I couldn't in good conscience ask them to borrow money knowing we're trying to pay off dent from 15 to 17 years ago. So that would be up to them, but,
Well, may I ask a question?
oh, you know you can.
Mr. Shields?
Yes, sir.
Would this time here on March the 20th, would that be a notice to you that you're going to do something to the roads?
That's correct. If it's not pouring down rain in the morning, I'll send a crew.
No, I don't mean the big holes, I mean the holes.
Yeah, all the holes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Swiss cheese that we drive on.
They're gonna have to be 2 inches or deeper, or me putting asphalt in it, it's just gonna make
Now,
it.
here's what's peeling up off the roads. I'm not
Yeah.
even discussing this kind of stuff. This is
No.
a pothole, but it's mine.
Right.
We have gone down to the base, where when you drive through it, your car is muddy when you come in.
We will address them, yes, sir.
All right. Now, I have these petitions, and whom shall I leave these with?
Mr. Robertson, please.
Mr. Robinson? And along with the petitions here, I also have photographs of the street. And Mr. Calvert walked the street, and he said he could not walk more than 30 paces in many places. He did not find potholes. So we should maybe, the city can rename the street instead of Holly Ridge. Probably your name is Swiss Cheese Avenue.
Did you have the photographs too, pictures?
Yes, they're in the...
Perhaps tomorrow, Thursday, you can make copies of them, put them in each one of all of us mailboxes if you would. Thank you very much.
Might I address this committee's?
That's up to the board since you're not on the agenda.
What does it pertain to, sir?
I live in the neighborhood that you just spoke of.
We come up here and give your name and address for a record, please. You know, this is not a public hearing, and we always want to hear from the citizens. Next time you want to be on the agenda, please let us know so we can go through parliamentary procedure, so everybody who wants to talk can be heard. But the board is very concerned about your problem.
My name is Lawrence Willie. Like I said, I live in the neighborhood. And I'm also an employee of Domino's Pizza. So I drive every road in this area regularly. And I can tell you that I am very curious about one thing, which is why the condition of most Horn Lake roads are poor when you compare them to other neighborhoods in cities such as South Haven and Walls, even, for example, which doesn't have nearly the tax base that we do here in Horn Lake. But yet I can drive in almost any neighborhood in Walls, and their streets are 95% better than any neighborhood in Horn Lake.
That's the reason. The reason for that is that the county did those roads before Walls ever incorporated.
Some of those roads just recently got done.
Well, then the construction companies did those.
Walls' maintenance is still done by the county.
Yes,
Walls don't have a
County,
maintenance
that's
program.
right. County
County does all of Walls' road.
Well, here's the other question that I have is how infrequently potholes are actually even addressed in Horn Lake. I have driven over some of the same potholes in Horn Lake for 5 years. That's astounding. You go to South Haven, and a pothole might last a month or two and it's addressed. It's the same thing in Memphis. Now, I can't understand how in the world with our tax base we can't even get asphalt dropped in potholes that are 5 years old.
I know Mr. Shields sends his crews out on a regular basis. Whenever he's aware when there's a pothole, he sends them out there to do the fix as quickly as he can. He works hard. His crew works hard. Where are you talking about that?
There's a neighborhood, let's see, it's a neighborhood off of Nail Road, Kingsview.
Yeah.
I've driven over the same potholes in Kingsview since I started for Domino's 5 years ago in here in Horn Lake. 5 years. Now, to me, I'm thinking, and in that span of time, somebody could have found a way to get one pothole fixed in 5 years. Now, that neighborhood is not here like we are today.
Sorry?
I'm sorry, but that neighborhood is not here today like we are. But I can promise you, if you put a petition out for that neighborhood, they would probably be here just as quickly as we would. Because it's horrible driving there. And any driver that is employed at this Horn Lake store, which I'm sure we can contribute quite a bit of tax money to this city, will tell you they hate driving in this area. And it's probably some of the worst roads they've ever driven on in any store, in any area, anywhere. We have drivers that have driven all over the country in different areas. Myself included, I've driven in 6 different states and never encountered what we encounter here on a daily basis. I've actually gotten pulled over by the city of Horn Lake on Horn Lake Road on a snowy night, just trying to miss the potholes. And he thought for sure I was drunk. And so when I pulled over, he was like, you know, I pulled over. I said, yeah, probably like I'm drunk. So well, why are you driving like that? I said, I'm trying to miss some of these potholes because guess what? I've already fixed my motor mounts once on this car. And my struts are already going bad again. I mean, it's just...
Well, we thank you, sir. You know, everybody up here is aware of it. Shields is aware of it. We wish to have the money. I mean, I think when you ask about laws, Oliver White and Shields told you the county takes care of their roads. We don't have a $70 million budget like Southaven. We have a $16 million budget. And you can rest assured we try to take the utmost care of the citizens and taxpayers' dollars as we can. And until we get those 2 bonds paid off from that 15 to 17 years ago, it's going to be tight. We ought to be fine when those are paid off. That's the best answer I can give you, man.
You know, honestly, I can't speak for everybody here, but if I had to come out of my own pocket every month to pay on a note that was taken out to fix the roads in my neighborhood, I would pay, just because that's how bad it's gotten. You know, because the way I see it, I can pay you once a month $100, $200 to help fix my roads in my neighborhood, or I can destroy my car like I have been for months and go to some other business and have them repair my car. It's the same difference to me. And it might be the same for a lot of these people right here. We're at that point where we might consider, hey, just take some of my money, okay, and let me fix my roads. Because I'm spending my money either way you look at it. Either for car repairs or for the roads.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Allen, board, have any questions? Alderman Geis.
I appreciate everybody from Holly Grove and Holly Ridge coming out. I understand exactly what you're going through because I live there. And it's the reason why I ran for office was to try to get our streets fixed. So I can tell you on behalf of this alderman, if any of the other aldermen present a bond issue to get the streets fixed, I will vote on it at the next board meeting. It's not important to me. I have torn up 2 of my vehicles driving down that street, and I drive a Jeep, and I tore up my Jeep. So I understand. And that's all I have.
Anybody else on board? Well, thank y'all very much. Appreciate it. All right, number 5, excuse me, letter A is a resolution about the hotel motel tax. Thanks to Senator Parker, Senator Massey, all Representative Hale, Representative Foster, Representative Henley, and who's the other one? The Representative Kincaid. They worked this through the House and the Senate and got our hotel motel tax back, which will give us some money for economic development. And it will be kicking in pretty soon. And that little fee is $2 per night per room. It does not affect you at all when you go eat or do anything else in Horn Lake. It only affects when you stay in a motel room in Horn Lake. All right, letter A, do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Smith.
I move we adopt a resolution declaring the intention of the mayor and board of aldermen of the city of Warren Lake, Mississippi, to levy a tax upon each overnight hotel and motel room rental in the city in the amount of $2 beginning on May the 1st, 2018, for the purpose of providing funds to promote the attributes of the city and to promote the city's tourism and economic development. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Smith. We have a second by Alderman Jones. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Mayor.
Alderman Robbins.
I've spoken with you about this earlier today, and I know we only need 21 days rather than going all the way to May the 1st. But on 21 days, we put it at April the 12th. We started advertising tomorrow and get our notices out. We put it to April the 12th. And if we did it on April the 12th, that would give us an extra 18 days of $2 per night per room, rather than losing 18 days. And with the average of about 400 rooms being rented a night, then they can add up to around $9,600 over 18 days. So, and I know you and I talked about it, and I'll let you know ahead of time that I was going to bring it up.
Yes, sir.
But, and two, another thing is, when you're looking at it, is I know you was concerned about a petition and stuff. The thing is, we can go ahead and get this out of the way and get our tourism tax back on the books and 18 days ahead of time.
All right, let me ask
But it's left up to the board members. That's just my thought.
Mr. Billy, do you have anything to say about that?
I do, Mr. Mayor, and I don't mind trying to push the envelope a little bit. The other thing that's required in this resolution is the very last paragraph of Section 6 of the House bill requires us to give the Department of Revenue at least 30 days notice prior to the effective date of the tax. So that's the reason it's May 1st, because we'll have to send a certified copy of this resolution from tonight to the DOR this week, so that we have 30 days advance notice for them. That's an additional requirement as opposed to the publication that goes in the newspaper.
Thank you, sir. Is anybody on the board, sir?
Sounds like May the 1st it is, then.
It's May 1st. I just wanted to ask that. There's just food for thought.
All right. Anybody else have any comments? Anybody? All right, we got a motion, we got a second. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Roberts.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Geis. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman White.
Motion. Sir?
I also.
All right. Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Number 6, Mayor Alderman correspondence. Alderman Geis and Alderman Johnson are going to be representing the city of Horn Lake on the Washington trip. I am not going to go. That'll save the taxpayers some money. And of course, before they go, I will be glad to meet with Alderman Geis and Alderman Johnson to go over the material they have to present. All right.
Main thing is just tell them to go, don't come back that month.
I've never been able to have any luck with that.
I know, I made that trip too. I thought what I was gonna hit me in the back when I turned around and walked off.
And that's all I have. Alderman White, do you have anything, sir?
No, sir, I do not.
Alderman Bledsoe.
No, sir.
Alderman Geis.
No, sir.
Alderman Smith.
No, sir.
Alderman Jones.
No, sir.
Alderman Johnson. Alderman Roberts.
You know I do, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Two things real quick. Our street sweeper, is it up and running where it can be used at times? With the spring coming on, Mayor, I think we need to do a spring cleaning with the street sweeper and go through and catch these gutter pans and get as much of it as we can. Yes, Spencer? I'm waiting on you.
He said, yeah.
The fuel bill was cut considerably.
Okay.
That machine burns about 70 gallons a day because it has 2 diesel engines. One to operate the truck and one to operate the mower and the engine. This early in the year, I will be you know, right now, fuel prices is not that high, might be okay. But if it's not, I don't believe the department in here that sticks right their hand, that tell me they gonna loan me some money to keep operating the restaurant.
Right. You know, used to, we run it once or twice a month.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let me get a little further in the year, you know, that's the, you know, I mean, we just halfway right now. When I'm down about 3 or 4 months left, I feel a little more secure at where the budget's at. But right now, it's running at about 50%. Because like I said, we did, certain ones trimmed the fuel budget,
That's you and I, Mr. Roberts.
I'm just saying, you know, it got cut, so.
I know, but the spring coming in, we're gonna be expecting homeowners to bring up their aesthetics and stuff, so I think we need to do our strips and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm not asking you to run it every day, all month long. I think that we need to do like we've done in the past, at least get everything once, and
I'll do what funds are provided.
if, you know, if the funding is available to do that, I think we need to get that if we can.
Anything else on?
Y'all have a great trip. You'll enjoy Washington. Again, thanks to Francis Miller for his input on the on our hotel motel tax stuff. He did play a part along with everybody else on that. So, nothing else.
Anything else?
Just a bond issue.
Sir?
Just a bond issue down the road so we get everything fixed.
I wish someone would explain to me how we're gonna pay for a bond issue to get these others paid off.
We're not.
All right?
And I just said, Mayor,
I mean, y'all know, we know how the money is. When you get up there to give false hope to people, it's not right to me. Number 7, department head correspondence. Request approval to pay approved seasonal workers due to early closure of cycle. Is that you, Mr. Calvin?
Yes.
Mayor,
Sir.
I move that we approve the request by Mr. Calvin to pay the city workers.
Do we have a second? Second. Who seconded? Alderman White. Motion by Alderman Smith, second by Alderman White. Is there any discussion?
yes, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Jim, what day did you close the docket, sir?
Hold on, Tuesday.
Tuesday? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any more questions?
No more questions, Mayor.
Roll call, please.
Alderman White. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Guys. Alderman Smith. Alderman Jones. Alderman Johnson. Alderman Roberts.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. All right, report from each one of our department heads. Chief Rowell, do you have anything for us?
No, sir, I don't have anything like this, Mayor.
Anybody have any questions for Chief Rowell?
Not a question, Mayor, but Chief, when you get turned loose and we go back to executive session, would you have your people go down to the dead end part of Meadowbrook? There is a white semi with a trailer backed up in that street, and they're not supposed to be parked in the subdivision at all.
Anyone else? Mr. Shields?
No, sir.
Don't have anything.
Yes, sir. Getting hoarse now.
Anybody have anything, Mr. Shields? All right.
Hey, Spencer, I did have one thing.
All right, yes.
How are we looking on the crosswalk?
I got a price from him, last week. I haven't got with the mayor yet, but, you know, there again, if I'm buying the funds for it, you know, I talked with the mayor about this. I can't do just one without the principal that's the next one calling, won't know why I didn't do theirs too.
Yeah, because you know, the one up the street is faded out.
That's what
I know.
I'm saying. So when
I figured you were gonna do that.
When I do one, I gotta do them all.
Okay.
And that run the bill up a little bit, so, yeah, it lets you know.
All right, thank you.
Chief Limbaugh, do you have anything, sir?
I was just gonna reemphasize again, we are doing retirement for Chief Casey Friday, 4 o'clock. Everybody's invited, 4 to 6, Station 3. Thank you.
If you can, please make it. And of course, all of you are aware of the terrible fire we had last week where a gentleman, 65 years old, passed away. And yesterday, a little 11-year-old girl passed away. I think one person is still in critical condition. So if you could remember in your prayers, please do.
And I guess since you're bringing that up, plugging everybody, if anybody needs a smoke alarm, we have them at the firehouse. Call us. We'll come to your house and put them up. But at this time, there's really no reason for someone not to have a smoke alarm, but I know there's a lot of houses that don't have them, so all I can say to every citizen in Horn Lake, if you'll call, we will try to go as many as we can till we run out.
And these are free, Chief?
They're free, from Home Depot and from the State Fire Marshal. We have some, we just really don't go knocking on everybody's door to invade, but if you have a person or know of a person that needs one, just call any of the fire stations. All we need is a name and a phone number. We make an appointment and come to their house. Okay?
Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions for Chief Linwood? Mr. Calvin?
Yes, sir, just a quick announcement. In the park this Saturday, we're going to have the Mayor's Youth Council doing the 5K run. So if you haven't contributed to the cause of that, we'd love to see you come out. You don't have to run. You can actually come and donate if you'd like to do so. It's for a great cause. Again, it's the Mayor's Youth Council that's putting this on, and we are assisting them with that. Also, immediately following that, at 11:30, we have the Horn Lake Easter egg hunt. So we'll post that. We've been posting on our Facebook account and starting hitting the Be a Blessing website, stuff like that. So if you would pass the word on, it'll be 11:30 to 1. We have 3 different age groups. We section them off to try to regulate certain kids, certain people being able to get in, so everyone gets a chance. If you have any questions, feel free to call the park or follow us on Horn Lake Park's webpage, and we'll put everything on there as well. That's all I have, sir.
And the 5K run, that's to benefit what group?
Actually,
it's the color run, and it's to benefit the juvenile arthritis.
Juvenile arthritis. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Run starts again.
It's 8. It starts at 8. 8 to 11.
Us old folks can walk every day, right?
Perhaps anybody have any questions for Mr. Calvert? All right. Mr. Phipps, you have anything tonight?
Just a quick follow-up, I guess, on important last meeting. I think I mentioned about the EWP program, the U.S. Soil Conservation Program. We had several candidates for that program. And we got the state engineer from Soil Conservation came up last week and looked at all the sites, and every one of those were eligible for this program. So that being said, it simply means that they're going to put these projects in the hopper for funding. And once we get congressional funding, they'll start dropping out in the hopper. And that's when they'll present you guys with an agreement to move forward the project or not. Nothing obligated at this point, won't be obligated until we get the money.
And it's usually several years on these projects.
It could be anywhere from 6 months to 4 years, depending on the funding that comes out. Like I said, it's typically based on if you have natural disasters, that kind of fund, that starts the money from Congress and federal government, and that just kind of filters down or something like that. So hopefully, I'm hoping we have disasters, hopefully that money will come, in the quarter.
Well, thank you, Mr. Shields, for working so. This goes to the NRCS. Thank y'all for working so hard. We're trying to get our name in the pot, so to speak. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Vance? Mr. Robinson, do you have anything for the board tonight, sir?
Yes, I had placed at your chairs. Alderman Roberts had asked for a new printout of the budget. I placed that there and had some highlights. He was asking about the ad valorem check. You can see that top line is highlighted in yellow. You will see percentage collected. You know, we are 1 week away from 6 months in, and we have 64% of that budget met, so that is a positive. One thing I did highlight, just to note that the prior year is at 232%, so we are well over budget in that. If you remember last year, we came up short in what we budgeted in ad valorem. So now we're getting then, obviously, the ad valorem is if the taxes are paid, we get them. So these are some that were behind last year that are now collected. And so that is going to remain over budget. And we should have gotten those in last year. Like some of the other highlights I did, you'll see we're over 50% in revenue, which is, we're about right on there because we're 1 week away from being 50% through the budget. The other things I highlighted, you'll see just, you know, hats off to all the departments. They all do a great job in watching expenses. There are 4 budgets that are under 39%. So they're not even close to 50% already. That's court, police, animal control, and then the admin budget. Everybody else is still well below 50. Those 4 budgets are watching their expenses even more. So some good highlights with the budget. But Alderman Roberts was asking about the big ad valorem check that comes in February. You'll see that noted on that top line highlighted. We've brought in $3,570,823 in ad valorem so far.
Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions? Mr. Robinson? And just to repeat what Mr. Robinson said, thank all you department heads and your staff for a wonderful job you do in watching the taxpayers. As you notice, we're almost halfway through the year, and still everybody is within 50% or under of their budget. Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions, Mr. Robinson? Ms. AJ, do you have anything, man?
I do, a couple things. I just want to encourage everyone to come out to the color run this Saturday if they can make it. Our youth council has worked extremely hard. They have brought in almost $2,000 to date for that project. I'm very proud of them. As you know, last week we went to the Capitol. We got to meet with the governor, the Secretary of State, our senator, a lot of our elected officials. We had an entire day there, and they really made Horn Lake proud. So I thank you for approving that trip for them. It was definitely one that will go down in their books. And then I wanted to remind you that tonight is the night that the Pass It On segment is supposed to air. As you know, a couple weeks ago, I did a story with WREG on one of our employees, and we passed on $1,000 to her and her family. It is supposed to air tonight, just want to let you know.
You have something to say? Mr. Robinson.
I will, the planning was in that Department 2 and on page 6, the discussion about Mr. Spencer's gas fuel line. You can see the street fuel line is already at 52%, so we're over half, a little over half spent, and we're almost to 50% of the year. So what Spencer says is true. He's already a little over budget if you look at timeline. So that's the good thing about that last column. It shows you the percentage of what's already been spent based on where we are in the year.
Pull him a rat out and get him some fuel.
Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Robinson or Miss AJ?
There you have Tara in the back.
Oh, welcome back, Ms. Tara. Yes, ma'am. No, you don't have any questions, Ms. Tara?
State didn't put anything else on, we don't get our money, have it? The state hadn't put any more restrictions on us unless getting our money from court, have it?
That's what I just came on with.
I
just can't lock them up.
You can't collect the fines, you can't lock them up.
We do what we do.
I know you do. And I know what you do if you were given the opportunity. That's not legal. I'm talking about what you would do personally, Charles.
We in Fort Rock do what we're required to do.
All right, thank you.
She would let you pay her down.
No, she wouldn't.
Anybody else have any questions or comments for Ms. Power? All right, Mr. Billy,
I have nothing tonight.
does anyone have any questions or comments for Mr. Campbell? All right, we're down to number 10, executive session. Is there a motion for a closed determination?
Mayor,
Alderman Smith.
I move we go into closed determination, executive session.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Smith, a second by Alderman Roberts. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Roberts.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Jones. Alderman Smith. Alderman Geis. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman White.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Y'all excuse us, please. All right, we're back. All right, so motion to come out of closed determination.
Mayor,
Alderman Smith.
I move we come out of closed determination.
Second.
Second, a motion by Alderman Smith, second by Alderman Roberts. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Roberts. Alderman Johnson. Alderman Jones. Alderman Smith. Alderman Geis. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman White.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
Mayor,
Alderman Smith.
I move we go into executive session for the following: discussions regarding personnel matters, possible disciplinary action, and/or employment of a person in a specific position in the planning department, and discussions regarding prospective purchase, donation, sale, or leasing of lands.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Smith. We have a second by Alderman Roberts. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman White. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Geis. Alderman Smith. Alderman Jones. Alderman Johnson. Alderman Roberts.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. If y'all excuse us, please. Hey, Mr. Terry.
So yeah, we had this, I did that all the time. I haven't had anybody do it.
I'll email you guys.
They just did it. If you get that.
No, I don't.
Thank you. See you stand right there.
Mr. Shakers.
It's coming. About 60 days.
We're back. We're all back. All right, your motion to come out of executive session.
Mayor,
Alderman Smith.
I move we come out of executive session.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Smith, second by Alderman Roberts. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Roberts. Alderman Johnson. Alderman Jones. Alderman Smith. Alderman Geis. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman White.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Do we have any motion coming out of executive session?
Mayor,
Alderman Smith.
I move to uphold the suspension of employee 319 for 3 days without pay to be served March 23rd through the 27th, 2018 for violation of personnel policy 701-1, unsatisfactory performance and or conduct. 2, boisterous or disruptive activity in the workplace. 3, insubordination or disrespectful conduct.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Jones. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman White. Aye. Alderman Bledsoe. Aye. Alderman Geis. Aye. Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson. Aye. Alderman Roberts.
Nay.
Motion carries 6 in favor, 1 opposed. Is there any other discussion? We have a motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn. We have a motion to adjourn by Alderman Roberts. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman White. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Roberts.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson. Aye. Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Geis. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman White.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. We are adjourned.